Okay, I'd like to reconvene the March 2023 meeting of Manchester County Board of Education. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Keller.
Here.
Mrs. Servant. Here. Ms. Winkler.
Here.
Ms. Georgiano.
Here.
Ms. Weinstein.
Here.
Mrs. Pease.
Here.
Mrs. Kamau.
Here.
Mr. Peter.
Here. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good crowd tonight. Glad to see you all out here tonight. My report will be very short for tonight. I did have the pleasure of attending the high school play last weekend. Saw a couple other board members there. I have to confess, I had never heard of that play before, which I must be something to go. I didn't even know it. I thought it was probably one of the better productions we've done in a number of years. Anyway, Mr. Adams, you're here. Putting the band in the back part of the auditorium instead of right up front with the audience certainly made a difference. We could hear their voices a lot clearer this year. So if you can put that into your planning for the future year, because the music didn't overpower the singers. You can actually hear it. It was very, very good. And again, I'd never seen the play before, but I was really impressed by it, particularly the male singer. To get a teenage boy to sing is accomplished in and of itself. It was very well done, very, very enjoyable. So, it was good. Don't have much else. I do have one request I can make. Or could we have a presentation, April's coming up, for May, on Chat, GPT, and DALL-E, artificial intelligence, how it's going to affect our high school? Can we get that worked out?
Yeah, we'll do something.
All right, are you already working on that, Chris? I'm old.
There's a conference next week. I sat in on some tech GPT stuff, so yeah.
You said it.
Sitting here, what you said.
Mr. Rapture said,
Yeah.
all right, we're working. Mr. Rapture said that we actually both went down to Texaco at the end of January, and there were some sessions on ChatGPT, and I've had some experience with using it myself, so we can easily put together just a presentation about, the resource, what it is, and then also how it can be used appropriately. So I think that's the biggest piece of this is that ChatGPT, if you're not familiar with artificial intelligence, you can put in something as silly as, can you rap a song about who the president of the United States is? And it will easily, quickly pump out a rap for you about the president of the United States. So it's pretty intriguing, but again, we need to teach our students how to use it as a resource and not a crutch for writing papers and doing things that you're not interested in. So we'll certainly put that together for you.
Yeah, it's being used also for the teachers too. Yeah, teachers need to learn how. You need to have the keystroke check. See what's going through.
I would actually put that on next Thursday in the show. I can send you guys right now.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, about teaching or-
This program is so sophisticated. I went to a workshop this week on it, that a ninth grader go in, give me a paper on the Industrial Revolution as written by a ninth grade student, and they'll do it in less than 10 seconds.
It's not good. I have a lot of experience.
Less than 10 seconds to get the whole paper, the sources, and everything printed out, the language been accurate in ninth grade. And we think our students aren't using it. You're kidding. Yeah. So we need to know what safeguards and all those kinds of things. So I think that would be very helpful to us as a board to understand.
Sure.
Well, I'm sorry. I have a whole thing on how to protect it. It's
Okay.
like a free pattern of language. And I noticed, I teach English, so I mean, I could notice this repetition and awkward voice.
Yeah, and can you do the back, the number of strokes?
No, you can just reread it. It just sounds robotic.
That was what, they showed us a paper that the ninth graders submitted, and it was like 3 pages long. And when you go in and check how many keystrokes you can do the paper, it was 8 keystrokes. You didn't type it, you're gonna have any paper on 8 keystrokes. So it's obviously they copied from somewhere. So, but we just need to be on top of it. Proceed with that, please. Right. All right, and that's it.
We have Mr.
It's actually Rob. Rob's here tonight. Place to be from Provost from.
Thank you.
No, he's, where did he come? Might be his home.
Yeah. Good evening, thanks for having me tonight, I appreciate it. Yeah, Rob Provost.
Is your mic turned up?
Yes.
It is.
I can tell, is it on?
It is green light at the bottom.
Is it green?
It is.
Okay, green light on your
Three
on.
minutes on. So I'm gonna try to keep it brief tonight, since I realize I have the audit in my hand, but most of the people in the room does not. But certainly, I'll take a list how you guys want, answer your questions, concerns, or anything you want to talk about. Just a quick opening remark on the deadline. That used to always be December 5th. We're kind of at the mercy of the state that we need, that wasn't me. So we're kind of at the mercy of the state with, we need certain OPEB and pension information every year, just later and later and later. So, this year, the deadline was March 17th. We already finalized everything, we're already done. And the audit will be, available online. So again, if you have any questions tonight, certainly after the fact, any questions, certainly contact Craig and me, and answer them for you. Once again, we received excellent cooperation from Craig, the finance team. I mean, I've personally been on the job since 2006, Manchester, just working my way up. Every single year, I mean, the district just exemplifies excellence. Awesome internal control structure. A little bit about the audit process. I mean, we go deep into not just the finance office, but student activities, the grants, service, transportation, student services. So we kind of test the whole district, not just the finance office. And again, it's just everything. It's really important to have an internal control structure, and the district has just that. It's a really, really sound control environment. With that, the AMR that we're going to issue this year has no findings.
No findings?
No findings.
Neither minor. Well, sometimes no major, we have minor, so we have that.
Yeah,
It's a clean
a
up.
lot of our, these
It's a
little
clean
one-offs, it's a very clean audit. And like I said, sometimes we do have one or two little things that don't reach the level of a finding to have corrective action on. I don't think we had any findings, and so we went heavily into grants, and two, with the grants, with all the COVID grants coming in and the change of guidance, it's difficult, but the district does a really, really, really sound job. And, findings, of course, we have the unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion the school district ever received. And also not just on the financial statement, it's also in single audit. So again, we went through the grants, really heavily detailed. And the federal government has actually mandated us to look at all these other grants that we typically, didn't really have to test this year. And again, it's kind of flying colors. So we've done nothing more on payroll and disbursement and receiving. It was all really, really well organized. Just a couple highlights on the financial statement. Again, I realize I have them on does, so I'm just going to touch base on it really quickly. Now, I think a couple years ago when COVID hit, the district had to pivot to complete remote learning. I think this is the full year, we almost had to pivot back to almost full in-person learning. So there's a lot of swings back and forth. And again, the district did very well. The enterprise funds are really well. Food service fund balance is up almost 500,000 from last year. That was really primarily driven by the sales increase, of course, and also you got federal state aid. You have a little more money in that. RDS is doing really well, and that's the fund that's, if we look at the pension state, it gets a little distorted because they have this net pension liability information that's from the state. It's kind of like it's a paper thing. So you gotta pull it out, the true fund balance of the enterprise fund. And that's up almost $900,000, I believe. So it's at 2.7 million once you're going to carve out all the pension information. It doesn't really have any effect on operations whatsoever, to be honest with you. The general fund balance, it had a slight decrease this year of 6.8 from 7.4. But again, that's still very, very healthy balance. And most of that is driven by the in-person learning again. The transportation costs are up for obvious reasons. But we're a school district, we scale down and have service spending, we certainly did it. A lot of these costs are fixed, but they're still very, very healthy balances. And then with that, the cap reserve that you guys have in your maintenance reserve, you guys were able to put in basically 900,000, 200,000 respectively, and that's for future capital projects and maintenance related activity. So again, I was trying to keep it brief because I know no one has the information I have in front of me, but if you want me to go into more details, if you can, if you have any questions, I'll certainly answer them.
The main things we try to find, were there any findings? If we have to up to, that's what we have to address, findings.
Yes,
And
there's
no
no
current
current
audits, that means everything we have in place is working.
Yes,
Well,
very, very good shape.
One of the things I'll say, and I know I say this every year, when these guys come out and do the audit, they're probably with us over 5 weeks. And, you know, we're still all doing our day-to-day job, so they're very professional with us. You know, they realize that they are working, but they are here 5 weeks and they do a very intensive review. And, you know, getting a clean audit is not my accomplishment, it's the accomplishment of the district, because we rely on everybody in the district to do the things that they're supposed to do so that we can get a clean audit. One of the things I'll also mention too is the district did get the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for its audit from last year. This is the 27th year the district's received this award. So that in and of itself, I think there may only be one other district in the state that's received it in more consecutive years than we have.
There's one district up in Morris County.
And essentially what that award means for us, and what it is after the audit, then we send our audit to another agency to review our audit, and essentially go through it again and evaluate our financial statement, our disclosure, the things that are in our audit, and then they determine whether or not that audit report meets the qualifications for this award. And that's something we've been able to achieve for 27 years. And what that essentially means, it just validates that our commitment to fiscal integrity, transparency, and the quality of our financial statements. So if anybody does pick it up, and if you ever want to fall asleep, the report's about 150 pages long. It's a lot of numbers. If you want to read the pension disclosure, that'll put you right to sleep. But it's a very comprehensive process, and again, it cannot be done without our staff at our school levels, our CSD department, transportation department, everybody's has their role. So I want to say thank you to all of them, because this award, again, it's a district award, it's not a business one.
Just to piggyback on that, Greg, I mean, this is actually one of the first years that I usually goes to have one or two comments, which always find something, if it's a font even, I go that level. First time I've ever seen no comments anyway. Yeah.
No, he's talking about the
Yeah, I'm sorry.
certificate of excellence process.
If it goes to the state level, maybe you just have something, whether we sit or not, but yeah, there's no comments whatsoever, just to be bench report. So, something else was about it.
Any questions? Thanks, Rob.
Love a clean audit, but this is my favorite part of the meeting, which is student recognition.
You know.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and start with my superintendent's report. I'm also going to try to keep it brief. So congratulations to all of the students that were recognized tonight. Spring break is upon us. It's very close, so I just want to remind everybody because our next meeting is after spring break. So schools will be closed beginning April 7th, and then they come back on the 17th. We have Jamie Kopak, did I say that right? Jamie Kopak is here for our student government representative. And then also we have Mrs. Angelica De Jesus who's here for the base. She's going to speak when it would normally be time for our liaison for the base to speak. She's going to give us a little bit of update on what's happening in our partnership with the joint base. On the agenda tonight, Mr. Lorenz is going to explain some of the budget things that are on there for the 23-24 budget. We also have some policies on there too for revision, and 3 policies that are need second readings or new policies. Retirements, congrats to all the people that are moving on, whether it's retirement or resignation. Moving on from Manchester, but Tracy Kiernan, teacher at Whiting Elementary School with 39 years of dedicated service. And Virginia Steinmeier, who's a paraprofessional with 19 years of dedicated service. And Annette Carr, a bus driver with 18 years of dedicated service. We have some new hires on tonight's agenda, which includes a bus driver. We're very excited about that. Speech and language pathologist, OT, and then also we were able to find a replacement, a transition teacher over at the high school for our special education program for our 18 to 21-year-old population at the high school, so that's exciting as well. Tomorrow is our big night. As you know, we have our community strategic planning event. A big thank you to Mrs. Silvestri. She is our public information officer. Give a wave, Mrs. Silvestri. She's done an incredible job with getting information out to the community, and I think we have about 200 participants. Is that about right?
Yeah.
About 200 participants for tomorrow night, which is the largest that our consultant has ever seen. And in my experience, I'm sorry? It's going to be in the gym, right? The gym at the high school, 5:30. We're ready for it. It's going to be a really exciting event. I'm looking to glean information from the community. I think that it's going to be nice for us to see what everybody loves about our district and some things that they're looking for us to improve upon. And just a reminder, the forum of that is really to be engaged in an activity. It's not everyone coming up to a podium and sharing their thoughts. It really is about being engaged in an activity, providing feedback, and then we're going to synthesize all that information that we got from our community event. We're also working with students, we're working with staff members, all the staff that participated in their faculty meeting, and then we're going to send out a survey after the event, so that way anyone that wasn't able to get to the event can still have their voice heard. So we are trying to capture everyone's voice, so that way we are well informed in how we're going to navigate through the next couple of years and set goals for the district. My next Java with John is on March 27th, and we're hosting that at the barn over in Whiting at 6 o'clock. And then just my overall reminder that if you have questions, you're hearing rumors, come directly to me or an administrator, because we're happy to answer any questions or any concerns that you're hearing. Come directly to the source. We're available to you. So thank you.
Very much. All right, our military investment.
Did you want me to just stand here?
If you want to go there so we can hear you, that'd be great.
No problem.
Can you hear me? So, Senior Master Sergeant Tillard is DUI right now. I'm not sure if he has to email you. So he'll be returning in April, so he'll be able to come back. So an update that we do have, School Liaison Office has scheduled, and we're going to be doing monthly meetings with the preschool team as we're going to continue to partner and gather resources together. We met last week. We were able to do a tour at one of our CDCs at Lakehurst. That building is still under construction, but we want to give them an idea of what it looked like and moving forward in conversations that we had. Another thing is month of the military academy is coming up, huge one. We had sent out to superintendent and hopefully to the principal, because they have received it. If you have a student who embodies the core values of the 6 branches, or one of the 6 branches, please go ahead and send that in. It's not too late. We're happy to put that together. We're going to feature that on our Facebook page, the base's Facebook page, and as many areas as we can. So we want to show the community how involved our kids are and what they're doing, what positive, wonderful things they're doing for the community. Some other things, the air show, that's a big one that's coming up. We're just waiting, I believe, to hear on, I know that you have confirmed that Manchester will be attending. And we have, at this point in time, we don't have any updates that it's just going to be happening on the 19th, or updates from now. And that we are, once the students arrive, we'll be able to greet them and address whatever, they want to go see. It's really open for all, for the students. There will be 2,200 students in attendance at this event. So there's going to be a lot of monitoring, but at the same time, there'll be vendors as well. It won't be the full capacity as it will be for the weekend. So the public's all invited on the 20th and 21st. Please come on out and check out the games, check out the kids, the vendors, the staff displays. There will also be vendors who will be doing STEM projects. So technology companies, etc., they'll be there at the event. So teachers and board members, if you guys want to come on out, please come on out, check it out.
April or May?
I'm sorry?
Is that April?
That will be May 19th is for the school day, May 20 and 21, Saturday and Sunday, open to the public.
So if you go back in your inbox, it should be there.
And then before the next one, I'll be sure to keep reminding everyone, because we really would love you all to come. It's been 5 years since the last air show, so it's a big deal for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamie Kopek, and I am president of the Student Government Class 2025 at Mtsd High School. The reason I'm speaking here tonight is to provide the board with some important information about the activities and events that have occurred or are being planned at high school since the February meeting. I would like to start off by sharing the exciting news that there is a new fundraiser that recently just started. From March 13th to April 5th, there is a Pie in the Face fundraiser, where there are 4 staff members to choose from. Students will give their desirable amount of money in the basket of whom they want to buy. The staff member who raises the most money will get Pie in the Face at the pep rally on April 5th. The junior, sophomore, and freshman classes are continuing to work on ideas to fundraise for their respective grade levels. A few examples are as follows. Last night, Tuesday, March 14th, the freshman class hosted a Chick-fil-A fundraiser and are in the works of a rock, paper, scissors tournament on Wednesday, April 5th. On Wednesday, March 22nd, the sophomore class will be hosting a food fundraiser at Clearview and sell their class t-shirts. The junior class has postponed their basketball faculty versus student tournament as the dates were too near another fundraising event. Another exciting event that is occurring today at the high school is the annual senior class 100 Big Dinner, taking place in the high school cafeteria. This recurring occasion is a special way to unite and involve the staff, parents, and community by providing high school seniors a special evening of food, games, donated prizes, and entertainment. On a final note, the high school spring spirit week has been scheduled for the week prior to spring break. Although the exact themes have not yet been decided, the festivities will take place on Monday, April 3rd through Thursday, April 6th. Thank you for allowing me to represent the MTHS student government at the board meeting. I am honored to stand before you all and share the past and future ongoing involving the SGA at the high school. Thank you all again and have a great night.
I'll try to do this quickly. On the agenda tonight is our tentative budget for the 23-24 school year. So the first part of the budget process is we have to submit the budget to the county office for review. So that's what's on the agenda tonight. We're requesting the board to approve the budget to be reviewed between now and our public hearing, which looks like it'll be on April 26th at our regular board meeting. Any changes can be made to the budget. Additional information will be put out about the budget, what's in the budget, but just some very general things. For now, the budget is at statutory cap. The original budget submitted was about $2.3 million over cap. So through a combination of reductions, salary attrition, moving some staff around into the preschool budget. We were able to get about half of that through the expense side, and on the other half, because our health benefit increases have been so large in this last year, in anticipation of it being large this year, we do qualify for a health benefit waiver. So that helped us on the revenue side. So between that and the cuts that we made, we are at statutory cap. We are in year 6 of 7 of Senate Bill S2. This is the first year actually in the Senate, although we did not lose state aid. It's funny because I was looking at our state aid report today, and based on our enrollment and our weighted enrollment, which is special ed, free reduced lunch, ESL, those types of things, we're actually supposed to get additional state aid of $355,000, but it's prorated through the funding formula because it's not fully funded. So the district did receive $270,000 more in state aid, which is fantastic, but we were anticipating losing. So that was a good start. Our preschool budget increased by $133,000. So we got some additional funding in our PDA budget. We are budgeting our federal funds at 85% of our current year. We haven't really heard much information on this yet. We don't know if we're getting more money, so we're being ultra conservative, budgeting less. We get more, it obviously helps us out in the budget. Tuition income from Lakehurst decreased a little bit just because of enrollment. They had a bigger class going out, a smaller class coming in. So we're budgeting 118 full-time equivalents from Lakehurst. There's also a resource component, and there's a component for vocational schools, so that is on the agenda tonight as well. The average home value in Manchester is up to $201,400. And the rateable base, or the property base in Manchester, increased about $25 million, so that helps a little bit with the tax rate. A couple of quick things. 5 items make up about 85% of our budget. So I know we were talking to some board members tonight, and when it really comes down to, if you think about the school budget, when you come down to what's left, you can really talk about it. It's not much. It's about 15% of the budget. So salaries, health benefits, our liability insurance, pension payments that we have to make, and special education absorb about 85% of our budget. Some cost drivers this year that we're dealing with, and it looks like we're going to continue to deal with, are health benefit costs. That's one where the past few years it's been pretty reasonable, and actually some years actually had some decreases in premium. This year we had a 15% increase. Next year they're projecting anywhere between 10 and 15%, depending on RX or medical. So that's something we're dealing with in this budget. Transportation costs have skyrocketed. We have been short bus drivers this year, about 8 or 9 bus drivers this year. So we've had to contract more bus routes out. Those bus routes are averaging $250 to $300 a day. And in some cases, $500 to $600 a day, depending on what it is. So if you do the math in your head, it'll make it hurt a little bit. But so we're dealing with transportation costs, just utility cost increases, liability insurance. And we are in a cooperative for our liability insurance, so it's a group. So things that happened in North Jersey, there was a lot of flooding up there this year. That does affect our rates in the group, but we also benefit that we still do get much better rates than going out and trying to get insurance on our own. Special education, our special education numbers have increased a fairly good amount over the last year. So we have more services that we have to provide. We need more staff. Minimum wage increases affect a lot of things that we do in the district. It also affects a lot of things. It affects services that we go outside the district for, because they're paying their staff more, so they're charging us more. Just shortages across the board. Some shortages, teachers, paraprofessionals, bus drivers. When we have those shortages, we have to do more coverage in-house, so it's more overtime, it's more class coverage, those types of things. So it's additional funds, it's a little more costly. And then our ESL population as well. Our ESL population has grown quite a bit in the last year and a half. So we are taking steps to address that. The budget's due to the county office on March 20th. I think my meeting with the county to review the budget is on the 22nd, Wednesday morning. when I leave that meeting, I should know if we have an approved budget, and then from there, I'll send out additional information to the board, planning on a public hearing on April 26th. Couple quick other things on the agenda. The PEA funding is on the agenda. So we did get our PEA grant for next year, roughly $3.2 million, $133,000 more. Our PEA budgets have already been submitted. We had to submit that on March 10th. So we're waiting on our approval for that. We are anticipating 14 classrooms in the district next year in our 3 elementary schools, 6 at Whiting, 4 at MTS, 4 at Ridgeway, and then 2 preschool disabled classrooms at Whiting as well. So that's all built into our preschool budget. This year, they also gave us some additional funding above and beyond what we got at the beginning of the year. We're in the startup year, so they gave us $193,000 to help us offset some of our startup costs, because we did have to set up classrooms from scratch. That's on the agenda as well. And then, as I said, talking about the budget, all of our stuff for the Lakehurst tuition agreement is on the agenda. We have a tuition agreement. We have a resource room agreement for those services, and then we also have an agreement for vocational school. That's on the agenda as well, and that's all tied into our 23-24. That's it.
Can I ask a question? I can't remember, it was last month or the month before, we were approved signing off on a letter to the governor about the aid. Have we heard anything back?
We have not heard anything back. I know the legislation is still active, but I don't think it's made it to the assembly yet. It's still out there, but it's not dead yet. But we'll see. I mean, it can't hurt to support it. You know, our aid and food budget for next year, we're estimating somewhere around $375,000. It could be more based on how things increase this year, but you know, we'll try to regulate that once we have more information.
Thank you.
Well, all right. Public forum. Anybody have any members of the public have any questions on the agenda items only, please, at this point? Forward, we'll close that. Any board member reports?
I got to attend a grading committee meeting at the high school. That meeting included Mr. Baronato, it included administrators, teachers, staff. It was a nice meeting, and the purpose of it was to discuss our current grading system and scales and see if, changes might be made going forward in the future. I also got to attend the policy meeting with some of my fellow board members on March 7th. We revised 2 policies. They're in the back of your packet. We revised 1581, which changed the title to domestic violence, and 1511, eligibility of resident, non-resident students. This just affords Manchester Township Board of Education employees the opportunity to possibly have their children, if they live outside of Manchester, attend our schools. There's some new policies, 2363, 6362, and 6470. This is the first reading, so if you have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to Mr. Baronato before we have our second reading next month. Everything is in the back of your agenda packet. I also got to bump into the class of 2027 high school orientation. It was really nice to see a lot of action in there. A lot of the kids were very involved in the clubs and the sports events, looking for different opportunities for themselves for their freshman year. So good luck to Manchester High School class of 2027. We'll be here before you know it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I was at the New Jersey School Board Association meeting this past weekend, attending the
weekend training.
New school member, school board member orientation.
A lot of stuff.
Was intense.
Yeah.
Good though.
Very good. That's very good.
Thank you for sending.
And I want to thank Mrs. Guinan, Mrs. Swift, and Mrs. Ward for allowing me to read in their schools. I had a wonderful time. It was awesome.
Read Across America was so much fun. I got to go to the concert, the Dr. Seuss concert was absolutely amazing. It was just like blowing me away. Not just because like my kid was at it, but it was
That didn't hurt.
I thank Ms. Collins for allowing me to read. I really enjoyed it. It was
business and all of our students.
Okay, we'll move to the action part of the meeting in section 1A, new business, numbers 1 through 3. Need a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the call.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Yes. Ms. Winkler.
Yes.
Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Ms. Pease.
Yes.
Ms. Mount. And Mr. P.
Yes. B, grants, numbers 1 through 4. Need a motion?
Motion.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Yes. Ms. Winkler.
Yes.
Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Ms. Pease.
Yes.
Mrs. Mount.
Yes.
And Mr. P.
Yes. C, budget items for 2023-2024, numbers 1 through 4. Need a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant.
Yes.
Ms. Winkler.
Yes.
Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Ms. Pease.
Yes.
Mrs. Mount.
Yes.
Mr. P.
Yes. D, contracts, number 1. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Could you explain to the public what this contract is for, please?
Yeah, Comcast is our internet, phone.
WAN, wider network.
So we are renewing our contract for another 5 years. Actually,
It's for our E-rate contract, so we receive money back.
It's our E-rate contract?
Yep.
Good, thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Ms. Winkler. Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Ms. Pease.
Yes.
Mrs. Mount. Mr. P.
Yes. E, Lakehurst tuition, number 1 through 3. Need a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Ms. Winkler. Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Ms. Pease.
Yes.
Mrs. Mount.
Yes.
And Mr. P.
Yes. E, comprehensive annual financial report, which we heard earlier tonight. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Just want to say thank you, Craig, and congratulations to you and your team who got us complete audit. Thank you, work.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant.
Yes.
Ms. Winkler.
Yes.
Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Pease.
Yes.
Mrs. Mount.
Yes.
And Mr. P.
Yes. Section 2A, administrative, number 1 through 6. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion?
Are we going to offer programs to the middle schoolers that don't fall in Title I categories? Programs for summer?
So I think we're still looking at what ESSER funds we have available. So right now, what we're approving is the Title I Stepping Up program, and then working with the middle school administration, we'll kind of see if we're going to run any additional clubs during the summer for the students.
We do have the summer student programs there now. So we do have one that is, we're trying to reflect a little bit like the AIM program, students that have been struggling in our 6th and 7th grade. They have the opportunity to get some remediation over the summer, and that we do that every year. That's an annual program that we run.
Like the last summer, my daughter got to go to like a STEM thing.
Oh, yeah, that's
gonna go down.
I searched on any kind of program because we do that.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Ms. Winkler.
Yes.
Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Pease.
Yes.
Mrs. Mount.
Yes.
And Mr. P.
Yes, and everything but 5111 and all of that. All right, moving on, personnel, retirements, risen well, other subcategories here, numbers 1 through 29. You do have a number in the statement. You have 25, 26, 27, 28, 45. That'll be in that total.
So it's the 29, right?
There we go, yes, 1 through 29. Need a motion, please?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion?
There were pictures of the volunteers for your veteran program in the website. There were people in those pictures that are not listed here.
So these are different. This is through the county office, through Barry Steinmetz.
Oh,
So these are through the mentoring, not our volunteer program.
oh,
They'll be on next month once we're waiting for our visitor management system to be installed, so we can do a background check. The county office through their mentoring program does their own background check on these individuals, so that's why they're being approved tonight. You're welcome.
Okay. All right, anyone else? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Keller.
I'm abstaining as well, yes to all of them.
Mrs. Sarah. Ms. Winger. Ms. Georgiano. Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. Mel. Mr. Bailey.
Yes. C, student personnel, number 1 through 3, need a motion? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Ms. Winger.
Yes.
Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. Mel. Mr.
Yes. D, special services, number 1 and 2, need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
The mental health, the psychological evaluation.
Yeah, this is a recommendation from Child Study. It's another site where we can send our students for evaluation.
It's really because the waiting period right now, there are hot commodity psychologists that we're looking to expand to different providers. Right now, we're looking at some students waiting up to 30 days for their evaluation. So this just helps expedite the process because the goal is to get them back to school.
All right, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Ms. Winger. Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Peters.
Yes.
Ms. Mel.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes. Section 3A, finance, numbers 1 through 5, need a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Servant. Ms. Winger. Ms. Georgiano.
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. Mel.
Yes. All right, we come to the end of our motions here. Do you have any public comment on any item? Coming forward, I'll call for a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See you next month.
Thank you.